All right, so this is part three, probably the final part of my mask versus no mask series, I should say, at least for now. And I wanted to explain or kind of remind people why masks, because I honestly was kind of confused. I'm like, why was it a month ago that masks were not recommended and they are now? And I think the reason, and I just remembered this, was the task force and health professionals were saying at first that they didn't want people wearing masks or buying them all up because we needed them for healthcare professionals. And I think I remember them saying they were talking about that related to, like, I think it was the N95 masks that are now able to be like sanitized and reused, not the like really cheap like ones that are like you use them and you throw them out kind of thing. And that was to make sure our hospitals were prepared. Same thing with the stay-at-home orders, which people are calling lockdowns now, which they're not lockdowns. You can still go out of your house. And that was meant to slow the spread so hospitals can be prepared for a surge. Neither of those things were intended to be long-term or to be drawn out past like a couple weeks, really. So now I think officials are really kind of using it to their advantage to really push what I seem to think are political agendas and using this as an opportune time to do that. Because people are willingly basically giving up their rights and their freedoms to choose what they do and choose to have a voice. And so I just wanted to remind people that was the original reason they did not recommend masks, and now they are. And I think they did it to really, and even some of the reasons they gave were reasons that I was talking about in my last video about wearing a mask makes you more likely to fidget and touch your face, which is a problem if you're not washing your hands, and all those sorts of things. And then they brought it back to washing your hands and not touching your face are really the things that everyone can do without a mask. And so now they're saying that they're masks because the hospitals and everyone, I assume, are prepared now, because I don't see them overflowing. I don't see them having to turn people away or having to choose between one person or the other for a ventilator. All those things have been sorted out, luckily, because we all followed these protocols for a few weeks. Now it's to the point where it's getting kind of ridiculous, if you're going to ask me, but I understand we have to slowly reopen. But it seems like some states over others are being kind of stubborn on how they reopen, or if they do, not really giving specific dates and whatnot. So that's kind of my take. I just wanted to remind people why masks weren't being recommended at first, but now we know that you can actually make your own mask. So it is what it is. I just wanted to kind of come on here and remind people of kind of the timeline of events on why things were being done. I know and some people seem to be following along without any reason or logic, meaning they were harping on people for wearing masks at first, so they're like, oh, we need them for the medical professionals. But now that they're recommending to wear masks, they're actually harping on people who aren't wearing masks, saying, how dare you not be empathetic, or how dare you not care about what me or my family, what our health needs are by you not wearing a mask. When in reality, the mask was a good option all along. And it was also not a good option all along if you weren't hand washing or not touching your face. The reason that they were doing that was to prepare for hospitals to get a big surge of patients. And so I think it's important to remember that's the reason why all of these measures are being put in place. And now that we see that our hospitals are more prepared than they were before, not saying that they're all perfectly prepared, because I don't know the answer to that. But now that we see that, I think it makes sense for states to start opening back up, and I hope they start doing that, and stop holding us hostage, basically. Stop holding our businesses, our livelihoods, our work, whatever you want to call it, our freedoms hostage for something that seems to have been figured out and seems to be indicating that not all clear, but unwinding some of these things is the best scenario right now. So I just wanted to come in here, like I said, give that brief reminder that was the reason why we have a lot of these measures in place, and the reason why masks weren't recommended at first versus them being recommended now. My couple of questions I had and that make me suspicious is, why did only a few weeks ago they start recommending you can make your own masks at home when that could have been said from day one? Meaning, hey, do not go out and buy these masks. Here are the materials you have in your home to do it. I think that would have been the best thing to do from day one, really, which it would have prevented people from going out and buying the masks that are needed for healthcare workers. And it would have also bought us time to prepare the hospitals, but it also would have kept a lot of people employed. So that's what the question I've been asking myself is, why did they do this and not that? Why were so many people on board with certain things but not others, but then changed their mind? These are all questions I think we all need to be asking, and I hope we'll have answers to these very soon. But it does make me wonder, and I have my theories on why some people supported one things over the other, and now they're kind of switching their tone. I think it's pretty clear why. It's usually politically involved. It just sucks that people's businesses and livelihoods that they worked a long time for, or the things that were sacrificed in order to accomplish political goals that clearly are not doing good and are actually hurting those people who are making those decisions that are hurting more people than there should be. So just wanted to come on here and say that. I'm going to wrap up this video here. Let me know what you think. Have you asked yourself some of these questions about why things happen the way they did? Are there things that don't add up to you that you want to share with me that maybe I haven't covered yet? Because I'm always open to people's thoughts and interpretations, because a lot of people come up with things that I'm like, oh, I never even thought of it. Never even thought of it that way, which is what I try to do by sharing this, because maybe you hadn't thought of some things this way. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you very soon.